If I had a gun to your head right now and asked you what content should you be posting to grow your business, I'm certain you'd be able to give me a pretty solid answer. Which means it's not necessarily a lack of knowledge that's holding you back, it's actually the execution part. Now, can I be honest with you here for a second? This is something that's held me back for years, but it's a hurdle that I've finally been able to overcome this year, not only for myself, but for my clients too that have been going through similar issues. So by the end of this video, you'll learn why you cannot show up for yourself as you know you should, and it starts with understanding this one thing. Ignorance maxing should be your priority right now. So let's say our goal is to post every single day on Instagram. The problem you and I face is that we're aware enough of the fact that if you miss one day of posting, it's not really gonna make a massive difference. It's gonna be a mere drop in the ocean with how your content actually performs in the long run. But where it will make a huge difference is the discipline and confidence that you have within yourself. Because before you know it, that one missed post turns into 2 missed posts. Quickly that adds up, and then you've gone a week without posting. That week quickly spirals into posting twice in a month, and you've now dug yourself a hole that feels deeper and deeper to pull yourself out from. So although you know missing a singular day might not have a massive impact on the outside, having that ignorance to show up daily regardless will allow you to have that undeniable proof that you can do so. The second barrier that stops people from creating is the "it's not good enough to post" camp. And if you identify yourself as a perfectionist, listen closely, as this one's for you. Whenever this thought crosses your mind, you need to tell yourself one thing and one thing only. Your audience is the judge of your content, not you. Because I'm sure that we've all had posts in the past where we spent hours trying to find the little graphic or flicking through different sound effects just to use the right one. All for it to get 7 likes, 2 of which are yourself and your own mother. Shout out to all the supportive mums out there. Versus some posts that we put no thought or effort into seem to perform better and resonate with your audience a lot more. Now, before you get carried away, this isn't an opportunity for you to start putting low effort into every piece of content you make. What it does prove is that you are not the judge of your content, your audience is. Because they get to decide what they deem as valuable, which of course can come in many different formats. Relatability, educational, inspirational, humorous, amongst many other things. Now, I want to talk about something that in the moment feels productive, but can quietly become one of the biggest obstacles to consistent posting. And that's the over-reliance on a content plan. Now, before you switch off, I'm not telling you that planning things out is necessarily wrong. What I am telling you is that for a lot of creators, the plan just ends up then becoming the goal instead of the content. You open up a Google Sheet, maybe a Notion board if you're feeling fancy, spend a couple of hours color coding your content pillars and scheduling posts 3 weeks out. And it feels good. In the moment, it feels like progress, and it feels like that this time is finally going to be different. But then a week goes by and nothing's really changed, and you probably still haven't posted anything that was actually on that initial plan. The problem was this plan gave you the feeling of momentum without the work of actually putting something out. So here's what I want you to do instead, and trust me, it's a lot more simple. Always have 2 to 3 posts ready to go at any given time. That's it. That's enough structure that you're not waking up every morning scrambling to figure out what to post that day, but it's loose enough that if something happens on a specific day and you want to create something on the fly, you can do so while still having content in the bank. The goal of any system you build around content should be to remove the decision fatigue from your mornings, not to create another task that needs managing. The moment your content system, or plan in this case, starts requiring more attention than your actual content, it's working against you. Now we've discussed all of the potential obstacles you might face, what practical steps can we take you to get the ball rolling and get yourself out of a content rut? I'd first look through all of your old content and identify the specific posts you can either directly repost or posts that you could repurpose in a different format. For example, you might have an old carousel that you spent time on and then want to change this into a reel on the same subject matter, covering the same point. Doing this should get your neck above the water and mean that you have at least a week's worth of content ahead of time. You'll then need to assess what is the lowest friction content for you to make at the moment and start there. Now, if you're not quite sure what that is, a great place to start is the Yap style videos. This is where you simply pick up your phone with no script or fancy equipment and just give your honest thoughts on a particular subject. Now, if you're struggling for ideas within these videos, the easiest method I found is to just talk about your own situation displaying your own shortcomings. For example, I made a video showing an editing effect I was trying to implement into a video and just couldn't get it to work, wasting hours in the process. Where I then spoke about the importance of, especially with short form content, sometimes an effect is just not worth your time. The key, if you are talking about your own shortcomings, is just to remember that you are talking directly to someone on the other side of the camera. So now we've got you out of that content rut and we've built you some momentum, you then need to identify your content pillars so that you can maintain this over the long term. But if you're not quite sure what content pillars that you should choose as an online coach, well then watch this video here and I'll break down multiple different formats of content you can make so that you can identify your own content pillars.